we're live here from Fry's Drive-In in Bamberg, South Carolina, located on 301 North here in Bamberg. Coach Crosby, how you doing today?
Doing good. How you doing today, Trent?
Good. Back from.
Let's start by saying great win last Friday night.
What's your thoughts early?
I just thought, being 2-0, that's a good thing right now. We went into a bye week this week, 2-0. That's a good thing coming in with a bye with two wins. I thought it might have been a little sloppy, but we got it taken care of.
Once again, I'm glad you said that, Coach. Once again, this past Friday night, the Red Raiders came out sluggish on offense. I mean, for the second week in a row. Is that concerning to you and the coaching staff, or do you have a way to get your team going more quickly, I guess I'm trying to say, during the week?
We've been trying to stress that during the week. Yeah, it's a concern. It's a big concern to me. I tell them, I say, I'm happy about the win. I'm just a little disappointed with how sloppy we're playing right now. We gotta get better with it. That's one thing we've been trying to talk about in practice is just execution. I think we kind of got some eyes and some attention going on now. There's consequences for penalties, consequences for jumping off sides and little things missing.
And folks, if you're just joining us, we're live from Fry's Drive-In, located on Highway 301 North here in Bamberg, and they're the sponsor of the Coaches Corner, live each and every Thursday, starting at 1:30 here at Fry's Drive-In. We'd also like to thank several of our sponsors of Red Raider football throughout the year: Vaughn Electronics, Chandler Law Firm, Harold, Fry's Drive-In Restaurant, and Pinson Insurance Agency. We'll get back to a few more of those in a moment, Butch. I've watched the game film several times since last Friday, and I know you and the coaches as well.
Right.
Now, I forgot to tell my friends about it listening, don't forget that you can also watch the game. If you missed the game or you were there and would like to replay it, you can go to YouTube and search WBSC Radio on your YouTube, and you can actually watch the game. Do you think, let's see, once again, and I hate to keep hopping on it 3 weeks in a row, but once again, your summer conditioning program paid off for you Friday night, and it showed against Edgestow.
Yeah, once again, it's still early in the year. A lot of teams haven't had the opportunities that we've had to go out and actually get their kids out there and start doing some conditioning with them, strength work, in the weight room. We've just been blessed here in Bamberg that we got that opportunity. We get our kids, we got a strength coach, we got a conditioning coach. They can lift, they can go run, and I think that kind of helps us out early in the year. And there's still second half. A lot of times they got players still second room from the first half, and we're still fresh. And lo and behold, we start going, we pick up the pace a little bit, and they get tired, and next thing you know, you're in the end zone. Turnover. Definitely helps us early in the season.
Yeah, we talked again Friday night. If you looked at the Red Raiders, we didn't have many. I would say many people cramping up at all. I can't recall one. I was trying to think earlier today, and I don't think we may have not have had one, but Edgestow I can count probably 4 or 5 times. And again, that goes to your brother, Coach Corey Crosby,
right,
strength and conditioning coach, along with a bunch of other guys, Coach Palmer and a few others that work all summer with him. But
right,
that's a big thing for the Red Raiders. Now let's get here, Coach. Special teams. A lot of people, they kind of fall to the wayside. People say, well, special teams, they're good for this. They can get us a kickoff, run it back 5 yards, we lay down. However, on the opening kickoff Friday night, Savalas Ken almost breaks one for a touchdown.
Right.
But Red Raiders get called for a penalty. Right?
Right.
Okay. Did you see this one on film? Because I'm still looking.
I saw it on film, but I thought maybe it was one of those things where they knew we were going to score. I thought the kid turned his back on one of our players, and they called a block in the back. We just harp a lot about special teams. That's a third of the game. A lot of times everybody think the game of football is played offense, defense. We concentrate a lot on our special teams. We take it very seriously. We just feel like, if we can make something happen on special teams, that gives us an advantage. Punt return, kickoff return. We can ping you deep on a kickoff or on a punt. Extra point. Coach Palmer does a great job of finding different ways of water bucket, maybe throwing some change ups there, maybe trying to get 2 points easy if you don't line up correctly. So, we harp a lot about special teams, and we're going to continue to do that. I just believe that's a third of the game, and you got to take care of that phase of the game before you take care of the offense and defense.
Exactly. Let's move later into the first quarter with Edgestow. We push them back on defense. It looks as though the Red Raiders will get great field position, okay? Right. However, on 3rd and 25, the quarterback heaves one up under pressure, It looks as though it would be intercepted. However, number 7 for Eddie Stowe tears away from our defender for a first down.
Right.
2 questions. First, what did you think of the catch by the guy from Eddie Stowe, number 7? I can't call his name.
The guy from Eddie Stowe, that's what you call just continuing to go through with the play. He felt like, the kid felt like he couldn't make the catch. So all he was trying to do was just solidify the tackle so that if we intercepted the ball, we didn't get a chance to run it back. So, for him, he was doing his job. And for us, we didn't do our job because we didn't take the ball at its highest point. If you attack the ball at its highest point, then you got a chance to intercept that ball. We waited on it to come down, and when it came down, he timed it just right, and it ended up falling right into his hands.
Well, folks, don't forget, if you want to see that replay, you can go to youtube.com and type in WBSC Radio and search us in the search engine, and you can actually see this play and see it in slow-mo. You go to about the 11:19 mark, and that's where you can find it. Coach said he's seen it enough already. But secondly, on that same stay with that same point, Coach, what kind of teaching moment does that become for the coaches towards the defensive backs as you move forward and progress throughout the season?
Something the defensive coordinator, something the defensive back coach has been telling our kids all the time, young kids, if you're out there and you're listening, never stop your feet. Keep your feet moving and always attack the ball at its highest point. Never wait on the ball to come down. You attack, you got to be aggressive. When the ball's in the air, a defensive back is just as aggressive as the wide receiver. It's your ball just as well as it's the wide receiver's ball. We got to be more aggressive back there. We got to come back. We got to drive our feet. We got to drive through that ball. We should have been driving through, catching that ball on the run. But, it's a teaching point. The DB that did it, he learned from it. He knew it when it happened. He said, Coach, I didn't do exactly what you told us to do. I didn't attack it at its highest point. I stopped my feet, and that's the reason why that's why he caught the ball.
All right, same drive. Eddie Stowe is continuing to move forward after the big catch, missed interception. Red Raiders defense stiffens, causing Eddie Stowe to have to punt. A bad snap, followed by a block punt, which was picked up by Kyle Gagem. He goes 56 yards for a touchdown for the second week in a row. We get a touchdown on special teams. Gets us our first points of the game as well. I think we're up 6-0 at that point. The 2-point attempt. A lot of questions this week from fans. You get a pass from Hunter Etheridge to Gary Swarting. Mm-hmm. What made you decide to go for 2 at that point? Was it something that you had seen on film against Eddie Stowe in the week when they faced Orangeburg Wilkinson in week 1 or not?
No, it wasn't that. It was just that, as part of our extra point field goal package, we line up in a water bucket. Coach Palmer does it. He looks out there just to see if you're lined up, if you're adjusting. If you don't adjust, then we got different plays that we run off of that. It wasn't about whether or not we're going to decide to go for 2. It was just the fact that they didn't adjust to what we were lined up in, and that makes you go for 2.
I was very shocked, if you remember the play, and you can look back on the film, half of the Eddie Stowe defense, actually more than half, I would say they had one player in between the bucket and in between the snapper.
Right.
Nobody covering Swarton. And I said, ooh, that's a good op. And then you called it. So that was really good. Now, is that something you send in again, or is that something that's called in?
We work it in practice. That's called from the sideline. And to be honest with you, they don't actually look at me when there's extra point. They're looking at Coach Palmer. He does extra point field goal team. When they line up, they're looking for him, the kicker, the holder. They're actually looking at Coach Palmer to see what he wants, and he'll look, and if it's there, he said, Coach, it's there, go for it. I usually turn and walk back, trying to get kickoff ready to go.
Trying to get him ready, because a lot of times you can't find a tee, you can't. I've been there.
Yeah, I'm trying to do other things.
How much time, and we touched on this briefly earlier, how much time during the week do you spend on special teams?
We spend a lot of time on special teams. We break it up. We do kickoff, punt one day at one period during the day, and then we do extra point, kickoff return. Then we work punt return at some point, but we work them every day. We go out to practice on Wednesdays, and that's the first thing we do. We stretch, and we cover all special teams. Every special team we cover that at that point in time. And then on Thursdays, we go back and we'll walk through it on Thursdays and just make sure we got everything taken care of as far as substitutions, because a lot of times I go back, and that's one thing we talked about this year. Remember the state championship game, we got about 2-3 big calls on punt return for having too many people on the field. So we put in that we're going to practice that, and we're going to practice it live to where we're on defense and we got to substitute in. We got to get somebody in. For this guy's down, this guy's not in. Who's going to sub him? So we do everything now. We practice that constantly during the week because of that reason.
Well, let's thank some more of our sponsors for Red Raider football throughout the season. Bamberg Family Practice, the Bamberg Board of Public Works, Richard Kemp at Farm Bureau, Keep Bamberg County Beautiful, Tagadoos Unique Gifts, Wilson and Luganville Law Firm, the Eddie Sanders Hires Drugs, Ness and Jet LLC, Bo Griffin, Home Federal Savings and Loan, Miss Nancy Foster at Foster & Company, and Sweets Discount Tires and Complete Auto Repair. Coach, going back to that block punt return, that seemed to be the spark your team needs as the game progresses. After one quarter of play, you got an 8-0 lead. Were you concerned at that point or still confident in how the game had progressed to that point? Were you kind of discouraged? Were you frustrated?
I was a little frustrated because I wanted to come out and you know, it's my fault. We came out, we had some plays that were script, and we called the first 5-10 plays off of the script, no matter what you lined up in. We're going to call these 10 plays or 5 plays. And we called plays, and we ended up giving them a little momentum. We actually ran the ball down there. We ran the ball twice, ran the jet sweep, ran the quarterback 2 or 3 times, or maybe twice, and then we come down and we try to throw a pass. They were actually prepared for it. They stepped up. They came in and picked it off, and they gave them a little momentum. I thought it took a little out of us because we always want to score on our first drive. And we got to get past that if we don't score on our first drive, that's not the end of the world. But on our next drive, let's try to make sure we kind of take care of that and try to put the ball in the end zone.
Well, you started the second quarter having to punt the football to Eddie Stowe. Your defense, again, does their thing. Eddie Stowe punts, and you get another punt return for a touchdown by Jamari Dunbar. This one goes 85 yards. However, for the second time in the contest, for the second week in a row, you get another penalty. Now, punt called back by a penalty.
Right.
2 questions on that, I was wondering. First, are you and your staff frustrated with the amount of penalties on special teams thus far, or do you chalk them up to early season mistakes?
We chalk them up. We're frustrated, but we also chalk them up because they're still early season mistakes. And if you go back and watch the film, when you watch it, some of the penalties are close calls. Really, you can't take away from them being aggressive because we want to be aggressive on our special teams. We want to score on our special teams, and we don't want to take that away from them. We just want to get a little smarter and make sure that, you know, if the guy's turning his back, pull back, or don't peel back on the block trying to take somebody out when we've already been 25, 30 yards in front of you. Those are things that they'll learn as we go, but we're going to stay aggressive. We're not going to take that away from the kids. You know, we do what we call opportunity and clean the slate on Monday. You make penalties, they know they got to pay for them on Monday, but that's part of the game. So I thought we've done a great job of trying to be aggressive on special teams.
And on that one, I think exactly what you said. It was a peel back. I do remember seeing it. We won't call the player, but I do remember seeing what had happened at that point. Number 2, our team's crazy. I mean, seriously. That sounds funny, but I mean, are they crazy? Why would you continue to punt the ball to Dunbar and Cam back there when you know every single week you're at least getting one touchdown run back, whether it be kickoff or whether it be a punt? But I mean, each and every single week you make it's happening.
I don't know if I wouldn't call it crazy, but I would say this, you know, we put too deep for the simple fact we're trying to make sure that you have the opportunity. We want the ball. We want you to kick it to us. And, you know, at this level, a lot of times you don't have the 3A, 4A punters on this level. Yeah. So, you know, they're trying to kick it away. 9 times out of 10, where they're going to kick the ball? They're going to kick it out of bounds. Exactly. All right, so if you give us a short side of the field, if you don't kick it but 10 yards, we'll take that. We ain't greedy, but we do want to be aggressive. So if you kick it back there to us, you're right. We're trying to score. And if not, you try to kick it away from us, we'll take it wherever you put it at.
Today's Coach's Corner is being brought to you in part by Tony Bledsoe and all the folks at Fry's Drive-In Restaurant here in Bamberg. Fry's is now open on Monday and Thursday nights from 5 until 7 for a pickup dinner. For more information, call 245-4540. That's 803-245-4540 from 11 to 2 or 803-707-3198 anytime. That's Fry's Drive-In Restaurant, a Bamberg tradition under the red roof on Highway 301 North in Bamberg. All right, Coach, let me get back to where we were. I'll give it a thing there. I might start calling you Vince Dooley.
Why you say that?
Well, and for some of you younger fans, I'm going to give you a history lesson. Vince Dooley never had a good team. He never had good players. He couldn't win a championship. He won one. And I think it was 82, 80, right in that area. But to hear him tell it, they were no good, but they always won. All right, and this is why. Coach, you said earlier this year, Hunter Etheridge's arm is amazing. I can remember it. And he runs pretty well. Well, here we go. Another 4th down play, and for the 2nd week in a row, y'all call his number. You got backs like Dunbar or Ginyard in the backfield, but we called his number. He keeps it on the outside, and I want to say it was 39 yard dash to the end zone.
Right.
And I think at that point I may even told people to call to Grandma, bake some biscuits because Red Raiders in the end zone. But, I don't know what I said. But the point being, come on, Coach. The secret's out the bag. Tell us now.
He runs fairly well. He throws the ball better than he runs it. Right now, he's run a couple in for a touchdown. That's something that we don't call that play. I don't know why you don't believe me, Troy. We don't call that play. He actually calls that play on his own. So actually, he sees things that. He gets into a rhythm. Once he gets into a rhythm, he'll come in and be like, Coach, I'm telling you, it's there, this is there. Let's try this, let's try that. As coaches, you can't be crazy and not listen to the kids. So we'll trust what he says and we'll try it. And both our quarterbacks like that. I think if you're going to get down the road, you're going to come back and you're going to see Savalas. He does the same thing in the second half. He goes in, he starts seeing things. When you start getting into a rhythm, you'll start seeing things. And one thing about it is defenses, they can stop a lot, but they can't stop everything. And hopefully our kids can figure out what they can't stop and let's run that.
Well, I'll tell you what, speaking of that with Ken and also with Etheridge, and we're talking about Savalas Ken, coming into the season, that was a big question for fans. They were saying, well, we got a quarterback, who's going to be the quarterback, what's going to happen at quarterback, what are we going to do at quarterback? Hunter never started a varsity game at Savalas.
Yeah, Savalas started last year.
He started last year, but it was a question, what were the Raiders going to do? And I think thus far, fans have to be pleasantly pleased and surprised at how well the two of them have done working in and out, using the two quarterback system. Getting back some season statistics, thus far Hunter Etheridge on the ground has 7 attempts, 123 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Now the leader of the team, of course, is Jamari Dunbar with 24 attempts, 183 yards, and 1 touchdown. Now last week I think he only had 5 carries for us. It wasn't many. So that stat, I'll get it right in a moment, folks. That stat is kind of confusing. If you look at it, you say, wow, because, he can run the ball, but, that's why you see it. I think last week he had 5 attempts for 48 yards, so it wasn't many at all, many attempts. Coach, it was great to see Etheridge answer the question and make the big run that he did, okay?
All right.
We talked about it last week. We were concerned, or at least I was. You weren't as much, but I was concerned. Could he kick a PAT after he made a run? And we saw a 30-something yard run. He turns right around. Boom! It's right through the middle. So you think that question's done? We good?
Oh yeah, you good with that? Right now Hunter kind of got tweaked a little bit there in the first half, which I know you're probably going to come to that. He got tweaked in the first half, and Hunter's growing, so we backed him up for kicking. Right now we got we're working Dunbar at kicking extra points along with Stenbridge. I think Davis came in and kicked one. He might have went 1 for 2 if I'm not mistaken.
He did. I think he
went 1 for 2. So you still got Stenbridge kicking, then you got Dunbar who can kick it. Blaze Bunch can actually kick extra points, field goals. So we're not as worried, but hopefully we'll have 2 weeks. We should have Hunter back. But, yeah, he can do both. I told you that last week. It's just a matter of just getting his mind set and knowing that I got to go from being a quarterback to being a kicker. You got to do it, and you got to do it in a hurry. You ain't got time to think about it. You now scored now, get ready to kick this PAT, or let's do it. We got to do it with the kicking game.
As we moved along, the next score was by Keyshawn Orr. He had a rushing touchdown, made it 21-0.
Right.
A lot of fans called in this week, and a lot of fans emailed us and texted me and said, ask Coach why did he elect to go for the 2 points again at that point when it was 21-0? Why not just make it a even 22? Why go 23? So.
Actually, when you look at your card, sometimes I got a card that tells me that if you're up by this minute with this much time left, you go for 2. If not, you go for 1. We were just trying to go for 2 there. Actually, I think Hunter was already down, so we were still really on the sideline trying to figure out what we were going to do with the extra point. I just told him, just go for 2 and let's figure this out at halftime.
All right. Later in the second, I think Etheridge was still up, because later in the second, Etheridge hits Gary Swarting on a deep pass, if you remember, going toward the scoreboard.
Right.
On the right-hand side. That was an excellent catch by Gary Swarting. It was a heck of a ball thrown, but Gary Swarting made a heck of a catch toward the sideline. That same drive, Etheridge rolls to his right. throws back across his body, if you recall, to Blaze Bunch in the left-hand corner of the end zone for a 19 touchdown. Number one, what stood out to you about that touchdown pass?
We just knew that we had it called to the right, but we told Blaze that don't give up, just keep going on the post, and if he sits there, just keep going across on the post. We'll find you. And Hunter did a great job. The offensive line did a great job of blocking to keep the pressure off of him, because I didn't think we were going to have time to look and throw it back across the field, but we actually had time because they really covered everything on the front side of the play. Blaze did a great job of just keep working back. Hunter did a great job of trying to find him. Overall, I thought it was a good play. I thought everybody executed there, especially, like I said, the front line, the backs, they blocked just to give him time enough to throw it because he stepped up in the pocket. If you look at it, he stepped up in the pocket and he actually threw a bullet back over there to him on that post.
He did. It was unreal. That's what I think myself and Anthony Harley in the booth talked about. It was a heck of a thrown ball to be on a bullet when you're rolling to your right and he cuts back across. I mean, we were really impressed. It was a great catch by Blaze Bunch as well.
Right.
You go into halftime up 28-0. Two more questions for you. Number one, how would you say that the first half went from a coaching standpoint?
As sloppy as we played to go in at 28-0 at half, it's good to go in up, but also you're trying to figure out, how can we cut down on some of the sloppy play. But I thought the kids responded well. We were just trying to get what we can get. We want to try to do it early. We wanted to get as many of our young kids in a chance to play. We're always about giving them reps. We want to get them reps. So we tell our first group, and maybe we got to stop doing that, but they got to realize you got to play for you got to play so you can get those young kids a chance to get out there and play. We tell them get all you can get in the first half, because the second half we're going to give it to our young guys. And I don't know if that comes and takes us and makes us play flat or what the case may be.
Yeah.
But that's what we tell them at halftime. We're going to give you another series here and there. We'll give you another series here and there, and then we'll get our young guys in there.
What do you convey to your kids at halftime when you're up 28-0, 47-0? I'm just saying any game.
All right, we just keep driving. We tell them you got to finish. You can't look at the score being 27-0. You got to look at the score being 0-0. I don't care who the opponent is. I don't care how bad they are. We're going to always come out in the second half, and we're going to always start our starters no matter what the score is, because I want them to learn how to play after halftime, coming out, stopping somebody on defense in a close game, or coming out on offense, and we got to get a drive in the end zone. So we'll come out and we'll play them that first drive, and then after that we'll start subbing.
Again, folks, if you're just joining us, you've been with us here. We are at Fry's Drive-In, located at 301 North in Bamberg, South Carolina. They are the building with the red roof. This Fry's Drive-In, a proud sponsor of the Bamberg-Ehrhart Butch Crosby Coaches Corner show each and every Thursday. And you can join us at any time. We're out here every Thursday about 1 o'clock. We meet up, have lunch, talk about football. And then at 1:30, we come live on the air and continue talking about football for 30, 45 minutes, however long it may last. We'd also like to thank our sponsors tonight, this afternoon, Sweets Discount Tire and Complete Auto Repair, Nancy Foster, Foster & Company, Bo Griffin, Homes Federal Savings and Loan, Ness & Jet, LLC, Eddie Sanders at Hires Drugs, Wilson & Luganville Law Firm. All right, Coach, let's move to the second half. You come out and you dominate in every facet of the game. All right? For the second week in a row, and the second time in 2 weeks, you look like a different team. Why is that? Than the way we start. I mean, as a fan now, I understand kids will be kids, and I understand, sometimes it's hot before you're getting out of school, things of nature. But from a coaching point, you would think that you would look like a completely different team in the second half. But I'm telling you, we come out in the second half, I don't know if it's that we worn down the opponent so much in the first that we look that good in the second. But, I mean, we come out in the second, we look like we could beat anybody in the country. 4A, 3A, 2A, bring Texas on. If they're watching here on YouTube, they can bring them on. But I'm saying it looks like we can beat anybody in any given week. So why do you think that is?
I just think, we get a chance to go in at halftime and make adjustments. We get a chance to go in and talk to our kids. Usually they come out and do something that we hadn't seen all week that we've been practicing. Once we get that and we get in and settle in and say, this is how we're going to run this is how we're going to block it, this is what we're going to do, usually kids come out and they respond to that. The other thing is we go back there at halftime, ain't nobody browbeat nobody, ain't nobody getting in nobody throat about this, that, and the other, no matter whether we up or down. We go back there and give them some snacks, little fruit I don't know what it is. Coach Crappie, y'all give them fig Newtons and all kind of stuff, nuts and grains or something. I don't know. That might be the kicker right
Y'all
there.
start giving out milk and cookies. Myself and Anthony might start coming back there with them now. You just let me know anytime now.
They give them all kind of stuff back there, little snacks just to get them going, just to get them back carbohydrates and all kind of stuff back there. And that might give them a little boost. We might need to give them that before the game, Coach, instead of halftime.
That might be what it is. You add 19 points there in the second half. You get a running clock. Late in the third quarter, all of the fourth quarter, we got a running clock. You're able to play a lot of the younger players, like you said, you like to do.
Right.
How does that help your program in the long run, and how does it help you this year once your junior varsity program and your varsity program? But how does it help all those programs in the long run?
It helps us in the long run. That we always look to play deep into November, and if you don't get those guys reps early, you never know whether they can play for you. I mean, we can go out there and we up 47-0, and we got 25 guys. And then all of a sudden, a couple of those 45 that you've been playing, a couple of them get hurt. Now you asking one of these 25 to come off the sideline, and you asking him to come in and help, and he hadn't played a down of football in a live-action game yet. And you've been on the sideline for 12 weeks, and you hadn't gotten him in the game, and all of a sudden you tell him, I need you, son, and he's looking at you like, are you really serious? Right? But if you get him in early, give him a chance. So that's what we try to do. We try to give everybody a chance.